Hi friends, thanks for joining in this tutorial how to send a data table as HTML body in any SendMail activities in UiPath. For this tutorial, I'm going to use these below activities like Excel application scope, data table, rate range activity, data table to HTML convert.xaml file, and placeholders. So without any further ado, let's get started. This is a XAML file which is required, which will convert the data table to HTML, and this is the Excel that I'm using for this project. So let me open this file. So here, these are the different applications and their status. So just for example, I've took this data. So if you see the Excel is running, iExplorer is error, SAP login is error. So this data can be written as a body in Outlook. So how we are going to do this? So that's here we are going to read this data. For that reason we are using a read range activity. So we'll see that in a moment. So let me close that. So this is the second file. And regarding the placeholders, I've already talked about this placeholders, right? So I've created an email template. So let me open that. So if I double click, it will open in iExplorer. Okay, so this is the body actually in the Outlook. So it will looks like this. Dear team, please find the below status reports for applications. So I don't want to send an attachment with that email, but I want to send only the data table. So if you see here, this is 0. This is nothing but a placeholder. This is called. So the placeholders will start from 0 within square brackets like this. This is curly brackets. So it's start with 0 and 1. If you want to add something, other variables or date means, we need to use the curly brackets and start with 0, 1, 2, 3 like this. So for now we have only a data table that we need to insert here. So that's why I've used only the placeholder as 0. So we'll see that in a moment how we are going to add this as a sub in the body of the Outlook email. So without any further ado, let's get started. So now my UiPath Studio is already open, which is empty. This is how it will looks once you download UiPath Community Edition, and it will look like this. It's a fresh, and you can see in the left hand corner your version, means the Studio Path version. And now just we create a project now. So to create a project, you need to click on process. So here the project name is application status report. So while you're creating a project name, there should not be any spaces. So in the description, sending so I just add a description for this project. So just create main workflow. Just click on the open main workflow. So in the middle of this, the middle, you see the drop activity here. This is called the designer panel. So first step, what we have to do, we need to read this Excel data, right? So first we need to read the Excel data. So how we are going to read? There are two types of activities in UiPath that we can read the data from Excel. Okay, so this is called the activities panel. So you need to search for Excel application scope. So I've already set as a favorite that activity. So you can just directly drag and drop here, or you can search for, let's say, workbook. So this is the another activity. Under the workbook, you can see there is a read range. So there are two different types of read ranges. So under workbook there is read range, and also Excel application scope there is another read range. So as discussed earlier, so we going to take Excel application scope. So just drag and drop Excel application scope. Okay, and here if you see the activity, for every activity there are properties. So this is called a properties panel on the right hand side. For every activity you need to select that activity, and then only you can see these properties. So once you can see the properties here, if you are first time, this is the first if you this is the first project, I recommend take some time to read all these properties, available properties. So just to move on, so just I want to indicate or navigate to that Excel which is saved on my desktop. So this is application status report. So this is the path, and now I want to use a read range activity. So it already took that application means Excel file, but now I want to use a read range. So for that you need, this is read range is an activity, so you can find in activities panel. So read range, you have to type read range. So if you see there are two read ranges, one is for Excel and one is workbook. So in future videos you can see the difference between Excel and workbook. So right now we're just taking as this read range activity under the Excel. So my sheet name, this is called a sheet name. If you see the properties for read range activity, so which is empty here. So if it is empty, it will take all the values or data whatever it is there. So if it is empty, if it is A1, right, if you want to give a range up to A1 to B6, so it will take only this range. Okay, if you leave it empty, it will take the entire sheet. So right now we just marking it as empty, so it should have a in a double quotes with empty space. Okay, nothing in it. So the sheet name, if you see the sheet name, make sure your sheet name matches with this. So my sheet name is sheet 1 and it is same exactly here. So if you see add headers, so yes, my Excel file is having headers, that is nothing but the Excel application name and status. So which is done. So I don't want to preserve format, and see what, whenever you are reading something from Excel from the sheet, so there is an output, right? So for the Excel we have a data tables, so you can create a data table here from this using a shortcut key Control K. So I'm just naming it as status report dt. So status report dt. So I've saved, once it is read, and it is automatically saving into status report dt. So I've created a variable data table variable, so you can see it is automatically created here. So I'm increasing the scope up to sequence. Now you successfully read the data. So the next thing is you configured everything, so you read the data. Now you have to convert this data table into HTML. So how you can convert the data table into HTML is, so I have a XAML file which is already created here, so you guys also can use this. So what I'm doing, I'm just copying this file, data table to HTML XAML file, into my project folder. It's just for easy to use. Okay, so right now I don't have anything here, so I just go to File Explorer and just paste it. So now I copied the data table to HTML XAML file here. Now I can use this data table XAML file here. So just refresh, just drag and drop. So if you see, there are some arguments that we need to give. Okay, so if you just click on import arguments, so input dt, that is nothing but what data table that you want to convert to HTML. So the data table that I have created right just now is status report. If you just type status report, control space, see, this is the status report DT. I just want to give the value here, and you have to create another variable. So this is the input for this XAML file, and the output we are getting as a HTML string. So I just want to create a variable here, HTML underscore table. So here we created the input to this workflow is status report DT, which I am reading from the Excel sheet 1. So, and the output of this this invoke file means the data table, this workflow, the output of the workflow is, which is in a string format. So okay, that I'm going to save it as a HTML table variable. So once you just click OK, see there is no validation errors. Make sure you don't have any validation errors. And once you done, what you have to do is you need to read the email template. Okay, so our email. So for that, you just need an activity here, read text file. So if you just search for read text file, just drag and drop into the designer panel, and the file name, you just browse the file which is on the desktop, so which is nothing but email template. So this is the email template I have open. So this, once it is read, we have an output, obviously, right? So you just save it into a variable called, it's a string variable, just control K, email template, just giving as a naming convention is descriptive, email template. So now we're done with the email template. If you see the variables, it is automatically saved. Okay. It took the variable type automatically, it's email template string HTML table, it is automatically taken. So the next thing, so current what we have done up to now, so we data table, we already read from the read range activity. The output of the read range activity is nothing but a data table, okay, which is under the Excel application scope. We done this, and now we are going to see how the send outlook mail activity will work. So in my machine the outlook is already configured, so we don't have any issues. But if there is if you want to use, you need to install this outlook on your machines. So if just in the activities panel, search for send outlook, just drag and drop the send outlook activity. So here, see the properties, or you can easily understand from here. So to subject body, okay, so the to email, you can give any email address, like I'm just giving my email address, wish@gmail.com, and the subject is, so you make sure it is always in a double quotes, have to give in a double quotes. Subject is application status report. So now here it comes with a placeholder, what we are talking about, how we are dealing with the placeholders. Okay, so here there is a small .NET method that we need to use if you want to extract whatever that we already extracted here in the invoke data table to HTML workflow. Okay, so how we can in the body, how we can make sure that this data, the Excel data, is coming as it is. Okay, so we'll see that command, the method we are going to use is string dot format. So we have to open parenthesis and the email template. So we need to give an email template here, so which is we already read. If you control space. If you enter control space, then it will show all the availables. Then it will show all the available variables on that particular name. So email template. Now we already converted the data table into HTML format by using this invoke data table workflow. Okay, so the variable, the placeholders, now the placeholders start. If you see format as string, so which email variable that we are going to use, that we are with the email template is already saved like this, and now we are going to use the data table which is already converted. So we have a variable called HTML. If you control space HTML, which is in a string format. So we are converting the data table into string. Now we are sending an email. So there is a one key point here that we need to keep in mind. So which is a HTML format. The body is the HTML. So you need to make sure, need to check this is body HTML option. Otherwise it doesn't looks good. So how it will send an HTML? If you see the complete workflow, so email template, just want to show you in the notepad, opening with the notepad. So this is how we have a tags, HTML tags here. Body, it's a blank space like this. Okay, this is how it looks like. So if you are not checking this is body HTML, if you uncheck this, so it will come exactly as it is. Okay, so make sure you guys check this HTML. So let's close all the files. Close. And now I'm using, now you guys can see in my sent items, and also I can show you in my Gmail which it sends. And also it's a send outlook mail activity, and we just is body HTML checked, making sure everything is perfect. Read range, I'm also adding add headers, so it will come with the headers, and we are passing this data table variable into this arguments. So and it is giving as an output as a HTML table, which is a string value. That string value we are passing in a placeholder. So the placeholder is nothing but there is only one placeholder in our template. So if you guys want to see again, so let me open with notepad. So this is the placeholder. It will type those string which is converted from data table to string. So it will paste it here, and it will send an attachment and send that as a body. So we just need to click away to run this process. So just save all and just run. So now the robot is triggered. If you see that UI in orange color, so it opens the Excel file and reads, and boom, it sends. If you see my Outlook, see it send winningwish@gmail.com. See this how it's clearly sends the complete data.